Elon Musk's plans to colonize Mars have just been destroyed by this bizarre finding from NASA, the American Space Agency. What major discovery has Elon's hopes of colonizing Mars by 2050 dimmed? Has Elon ever considered sending people to Mars? Or have the NASA discoveries put a stop to his plans? And why is this significant to the tech tycoon? Join me in this video as we examine how Elon Musk's Mars aspirations have been destroyed by this bizarre NASA revelation. Apart from Earth, Mars is the only other known habitable planet, according to many astronomers and scientists. The absence of any observable proof that this idea is true, however, has always been a major roadblock. This is because there is no physical evidence to suggest that there is life on the red planet. Researchers and scientists from all over the world have been laboring to understand our nearest neighbor ever since the advent of modern astronomy. The Martian atmosphere and topography have been surveyed using powerful satellite observatories, and multiple successful efforts to land research vehicles and devices on Mars have been made. The planet's surface is now being explored by a number of unmanned spacecraft landers and robotic rovers, which are taking pictures, collecting samples for study, and sending data back to Earth. By working together with their national space agencies, some nations have succeeded in achieving this objective. Russia, China, the United Kingdom, and the European Union have all made attempts to send several scientific instruments to Mars. However, NASA in the US has performed far better. To ascertain whether Musk's assertions are tenable, NASA states that extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. The exploration of Mars by NASA has not stopped. Elon Musk, a millionaire American, is a person who does not simply accept less. Elon Musk thinks that the goal of colonizing Mars is still a long way off despite his huge triumphs. In reality, he has recently grown impatient with the fervor and speed with which space research, particularly that pertaining to Mars, is being carried out. Contrary to popular belief, Musk considers them boring and uninteresting since they aren't willing to take risks, especially when it comes to NASA. He says it like this: "There is a foolish notion that success is impossible at NASA. It's possible that this effort won't succeed." Elon has developed an unparalleled goal that just requires positive thinking, daring, and intelligence because the absence of failure demonstrates a lack of taking risks. At the International Astronautical Congress in Guadalajara in 2016, Elon made the following statement: "What could possibly sustain Elon's unlimited optimism? I am personally building riches in Mexico for this reason. To be really honest, my sole other goal is to help in the development of life on other worlds." It's amazing and remarkable that he accomplished this by downsizing to a $50,000 box and selling off several of his pricey residences. Sybil Casita's brother refused to purchase a new mattress. Bro occasionally lives below the poverty line and does not have a millionaire's lifestyle. When questioned about her response to learning about Musk's peculiar habits, Grimes expressed full amazement. It was obvious that their interactions would be strained. Who cares? Even his wife couldn't stop him from succeeding in his objectives. According to Musk, a cataclysmic event annihilating all life on Earth and asking what the point of such absurd sacrifices is on the horizon. Because of this, he has never lost faith that someday, a spacefaring society will be able to avert this fate. There are significant barriers in the way that can only be overcome with knowledge and resources we do not now possess, prompting NASA scientists to question if humanity will ever be able to settle on Mars. According to a recent NASA scientific report, Elon Musk's project is in doubt. It would seem that this most recent discovery will invalidate every conclusion that could be drawn from Elon Musk's statements. After all, NASA frequently boasts about being in a league of their own and having an edge over the competition thanks to their research prowess. The Mars Atmospheric and Volatile Evolution, the Mars Odyssey, and the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter are among the NASA spacecraft that are currently orbiting Mars. Before we get to it, let's find out why you should be worried whenever NASA makes a significant finding to derail Musk's wild aspirations. In actuality, NASA is currently running spacecraft on Mars. These include the Mars InSight lander, which was launched on May 5 and touched down on the planet's surface on November 26 of the same year, and the Mars Perseverance rover, which was launched on July 30 and touched down on the planet's surface on February 18 of the following year. The Curiosity rover and the Viking 1 and 2 sea-based probes are just a few of the numerous successful spacecraft missions that NASA has carried out. 70s. Therefore, any statements made by NASA can be backed up by information gathered by its Martian scientific instruments. Over the course of its numerous space flights, NASA has developed to amazing heights with assistance from the American government. The closest terrestrial planet to Earth with signs of hosting life is Mars. However, the research demonstrates that there are a few environmental variables that prevent life from surviving there in any meaningful sense. Without addressing this issue, Elon Musk's biggest difficulty will be getting people to Mars. In 2015, he described his ambitious plan to colonize Mars on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. When questioned, he suggested the quickest fix would be to drop a thermonuclear bomb over the voting booths. Musk is convinced that his method is sound scientifically, despite the fact that it has received some criticism from other experts. What ideas does Elon Musk have to ameliorate the challenging circumstances that currently exist on Mars? There's a chance that Mars once had favorable environmental conditions for the evolution of life. Those times may have come and gone. We still don't know for sure if Mars could support human life despite all of the research and exploration that has been done, but Musk has a plan. The geological basis of Earth and Mars is composed primarily of iron-rich rocks, which cover much of both planets' surfaces. Iron oxides on the planet's surface are what give it its distinctive crimson color. Mars does one spin around the Sun, just like the Earth does. The length of the day varies, although not dramatically. Mars days, which span roughly 24 hours and 37 minutes, are marginally longer than Earth days. But rather than being puzzled by the length of days and years, Elon Musk is baffled by the conspicuous lack of environmental variables that are favorable to human life on this red planet. 20% of air is oxygen. Conditions on Mars are less favorable than they are on Earth, and the remaining 1% is made up of other gases like carbon dioxide. Only 1%, 4%, or 5% of the atmosphere is made up of oxygen, while 96% of the atmosphere is made up of carbon dioxide. No living thing can, of course, endure in an atmosphere with such low oxygen levels. Elon Musk is working to find a solution to the issue of climate change as yet another significant obstacle. Due to its greater distance from the Sun, Mars' average surface temperature is considerably lower than that of Earth. Compared to Earth, which has an average temperature of 14 degrees Celsius, Mars has a mean temperature of 63 degrees. Finding clean water to drink is at best a long shot. However, significant findings suggest that water does exist on Mars. One of these is the finding of frozen water near the poles made by NASA's spacecraft and robotic rovers. Snowfall from ice clouds is one of the many precipitation types that can occur on Mars. The only precipitation on Mars is carbon dioxide, turning it into an arid wasteland. Mars is much less hospitable than even the driest desert on Earth. What course of action would Musk suggest following this in-depth analysis of the issue? He believes that using a thermonuclear weapon is the only option. In order to make Mars habitable for people, a procedure known as terraforming would be utilized to produce an artificial atmosphere. Terraforming was first proposed by Elon Musk as a solution to the severe pressure and temperature on Mars due to the thin atmosphere. To do this, Musk has suggested using thermonuclear weapons to explode over the polar carbon dioxide ice caps. This causes them to become softer and evaporate, which increases the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and has a localized warming impact. As the CO2 layer thickens and allows liquids to dwell on the planet's surface,